Sales on the reserve list spike this week, and there's only one person to blame. In my best imitation of Rudy. Why, Rudy? Why did you do it to us, Taco King? I'm not leaving no 10-pack of tacos at your doorstep, and I'm keeping the nachos and cheese for myself. You made me do a full recount. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here, and thanks again for hanging out with me on the channel today as we blame Alpha Investments for the recent spike on the reserve list, which led to a whole recount of Moxman's Hot 10. I had to go back and redo it all because all kinds of cards started spiking, and I had to go in there and see what was going on. Instead of having the low 20s, all of a sudden things started spiking up, and this led to a whole mess of recounting and calling and begging for more information. So this is what we've got to deal with today. Please excuse me if I missed any of these because there was a lot to count this week and there was a lot to go through to get the information, but that's okay because you know what? It's the reserve list. It's worth the time and effort, and that's where we have it this week. So this week there's a whole mix-up, and we've got some stuff to go through. We're going to conversate as we go through our Hot 10, as we take the yellow brick journey from number 10 to number 1. I will give you a little bit of commentary to show you what has been changed up because of the Taco King this week. It's all because of him. That's why I'm keeping my nachos and cheese. He can have his 10-pack. I'll drop it off at some point. I'm going to mail it to him. It's going to be all moldy and nasty, but I'm going to mail it. LLC, right? Yeah, that's right. Guys, it's funny though how one YouTube content creator can make a comment, flying purple hippos, and everything goes nuts. It just changes the entire feel for what's going on out there. One video, one comment, 30,000 views, which is funny because if 30,000 people who watch that video all decide to buy any individual reserve list card, there's none left. Reserve list can't handle that kind of upload of people buying cards. It's not available like that. So this is one of those crazy days. So let's get this video started. You've waited long enough. Let's just kind of jump in there, start the party, and see what's going on. Number 10 this week is Wheel of Fortune with 29 sales, February 25th to March 4th of 2023. An all-time high for this card is $1,999.75 way back in January of 2021. The all-time low, $9.07, September of 2012. The current market price is $327, March 2023, and all copies sold this week are from Revised Edition. Some people do go for the proxy versions, which are the collector edition ones. Players don't really mind using them nowadays, and of course, it can be used in formats like Old School. People who are trying to buy the alpha, beta, and unlimited copies realize there's a 10x factor for a lot of these cards. Very expensive and harder to get into, but a much more coveted card to get your hands on whenever possible. Let's go ahead and take a look at the number 9 card this week, and that is Didgeridoo. 31 sales this week with an all-time high of $59.99, January 2021. All-time low of 69 cents, September 2012, and the current market price is $14, March 2023. Now, we've talked about Didgeridoo a few times here on the channel in the last 40 days because it was down to like a $7, $8 card, making it very affordable for players to dive in on a card that can just put Minotaurs directly into play. Cards like this will continue to spike up. It is something to pay attention to, and cards like this really do tend to spike whenever Wizards of the Coast gives us a new, more powerful version of a Minotaur that can be jacked out on turn 2 and 3. Let's go ahead and take a look at the number 8 card this week, and that is going to be Underground Sea, and these are all revised editions again, okay? Paying attention to it, all revised. 32 sales from Underground Sea this week with an all-time high of $1,299.94. February of 2021, and of course the all-time low of $132.63, June 2012. The current market price is $757.75, March 2023, and when you're looking at any dual land, remember this, these cards, heavily played, will save you a lot of money. Moderately played, you're saving some cash, but if you're looking for near mint, investable grade copies that could be sought out by collectors later on, then you're going to be spending a lot more money to get into these cards, and you don't always want to play with them. So the sales on this card were a real mixed bag this week. Although this is the only dual land to make the list, many cards in the dual land realm here, everything from Savannas, Taiga, Badlands, Scrublands, they all had the low 20 sales this week, which normally could get them in the hot 10. In this case, it didn't, but props to all those people buying this card before these cards do tend to start spiking up, because there's a lot of money just slushing around right now in the reserve list. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next card this week, and that is the number 7 position, and it's Rainbow Veil, and that is from Fallen Empires. 33 sales this week, and this card had an all-time high of $19.99 August of 2020. That's when it had its biggest spike. The all-time low, 48 cents way back in March of 2013. Remember when nobody cared about Fallen Empires? It was just completely worthless. And of course, the current price for this card is $7.60. Unlike a lot of other Fallen Empires cards, this one never really fell to the same lower levels that we've seen on other versions of cards. When you look at Thrall Champion, it's fallen so much further than a card like Rainbow Veil. It's got to be that mana producing ability. And remember, any land that is, reserve list is just something you've got to buy at least one of. You want to have it around just in case something goes wrong. Let's go ahead and take a look at the number 6 card this week. And yep, it's another land, and that is going to be Lake of the Dead. 39 sales this week. All-time high, $340. That was March of 2021. The all-time low, $5.03, December of 2015, and I remember buying copies at that point. I needed a couple of play sets for building some Eldrazi decks, so I was buying them at that point, so I remember that. And then the current price is $95.99, and that's March of 2023. But again, this was a card that Rudy mentioned on his video, that the Taco King said, hey, remember, this could be a $1,000 card at some point. Well, that just spurred the market on. People started diving into this card left, right, and center. Made me do a whole recount. This card wasn't even on the list this week until I recounted late on Saturday. Crazy stuff, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next card, and that is, again, it's still here, and that is the Exanic statue in the number 5 slot with 41 sales this week. All-time high, $6.62, April 2021. All-time low of 26 cents way back in March of 2017, and the current market price is $1.91 still, March 2023. Now, when you're taking a look at cards like that, remember, the future playability has yet to be determined. You never know where the value will be found in cards like this. All right, another Fallen Empires card spiking onto the list this week, and that is the Conch Horn. Another great card that can be used in a whole bunch of commander decks. All-time high, $18.45, February 2021. All-time low, 30 cents. That was way back in March of 2017, not that long ago. And the current market price, $4.20, March 2023. But 47 sales out of the blue. This card was not on the list. It jumped right in there. What we're seeing is just one of those unique times of the year where people are saying, you know what? I want to get my hands on a few of these cards, and now apparently is the time for people to do it. Now, the number 3 card this week is going to be Copy Artifact. Revised edition only, 49 sales this week. All-time high, $265 September of 2020. A lot of the people on the channel do remember that. If you were on my channel that long ago, we remember watching this happen, happening during the day as the price started to spike up. Crazy times. All-time low, $3.31 May of 2013, and the current price is $61.85 March 2023. Copy Artifact, guys, it does everything you need it to do. There are duplicate cards like Mirror Maid, but they're not nearly as good because they take double blue to cast. It's never been the same. But now let's get down to some heavy hitting cards right now. Let's get down to the number 2 card this week, and that is going to be Devi Excavations with 118 sales. This card was not even on the list when I did the counts on Thursday. Started doing the update counts on Friday, and sometime here early on Saturday, before I started doing recording, I did another count, and the number was off. It started getting to 50, 60 sales, 70 sales. I started calling around to local stores to see what had happened. I checked some eBay listings. I checked with the guys on Card Market, and I was like, what is going on? And before you know it, The final count that I could get to was 118 sales. And this is off directly from Rudy at Alpha Investments making a comment about the card. And before you know it, people decide to buy in. When he makes a comment that it could possibly be a $100 card one day, it just seemed to cause people to say, you know what, maybe that's right. Maybe this card's not so bad, which I've been saying for years. And here we go, 118 sales. Okay, this card has an all-time high of $44.89 way back in September of 2021, and that's because of the people directly on this channel right now. The all-time low, 89 cents, April 2013. I was buying them back then. And the current price of $17.48, March 2023. And some point this week, the algorithm's going to catch up from MTG Stocks and the other sites, MTG Goldfish, and they're going to cause a bit of an uptick, I bet. I think you're going to see this card have a little tail with a price increase because so many copies sold. It got cleared out of TCG Player. It just went on and on. And now I'm very curious to see how this will work out this week. How much of an uptick is the card going to get? Are we going to see spikes in the price, which have already started to happen? The card's already drifted up about $1 since earlier in the week. Way to go. I mean, I got to say that is very impressive to see that many sales of this particular card. I was planning on buying a whole bunch of copies in the near future, and it looks like my plans have been derailed. I'm going to have to wait and see what happens next, and that's kind of crazy to think that one video can cause that kind of impact. But now you've waited long enough. We've talked about Devi Excavations and the fact it's an awesome card. And way to go, everyone who decided to buy a copy and join the tinfoil hat army of Moxman. And let's go ahead and take a look at our number one card, and that is Eldergrath, guys. That one video that Rudy did brought us around to 127 sales to take the number one slot this week. All-time high for this card is $69.95, March of 2021. The all-time low is 82 cents way back in July of 2012. And the current market price is $14.62, and that is March of 2023. And in Rudy's video, he made the comment saying if you want to buy these cards, you should probably wait 60 to 90 days before buying them because his video might cause a ripple. Yeah, it did. And look what happened. Right? Look what happened. And for those of you who asked this question, emailed it, I just want to get this out for everyone. Whenever it's a point-to-point sale, so if whoever sold those to Rudy directly, that doesn't cause a spike in any algorithms on any of the platforms because it didn't go through that medium to get caught by the algorithm. So a lot of times you see any of those kind of buyout videos he gets, that's a direct sale. It didn't go through any of those online platforms to track that algorithm, so they don't pick it up, okay? It doesn't happen that way. It's just a direct sale. So interesting to know, but if any of the LGS levels are hooked through some of those buying platforms, then it does get picked up. So I'm curious to see how this is going to play out. But what an exciting time to watch a video like that unfold. And knowing I should have realized how many sales would happen because of it, but I didn't. I just plodded along my normal way, doing all my counts, and then it was a full recount. So, wow. Guys, what an exciting weekend. And I know things will die down this week. That's what happens, you know. The rush goes by, the FOMO is past, but it just shows now with Phyrexia All Will Be One settling in and March of the Machine's not here yet. There's some money slushing around in a whole bunch of areas of the reserve list where it's not normally at. And it looks like people are starting to feel that urge, that itch to buy some of these reserve list cards again. So videos like that can cause those kinds of ripples to be bigger than they were normally going to be. But people still had their cash leaning that direction. So thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks for being here, everyone. I'm looking forward to seeing the comments in the comments section. All hail the mighty army, the tinfoil hat army of Devi Excavations. And if you enjoyed this content, you stuck around to the end here, I hope you'll consider smashing that subscribe button because you got to have goals in life. My goal is still to get to 20,000 subscribers. Everyone who hits that button is helping me get that much closer, and we will have quite the party here. We really will when we get there. So thanks again, guys. Thanks for allowing me to entertain you each and every day. And I will see you guys on the live stream, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. All right, have a great one, everyone. And of course, a big shout out and thank you to the fantastic patrons of my channel who show their support each and every month. Guys, without you, this content's not, like I wouldn't even be here on YouTube anymore. So thanks again, everyone who shows that support. Thanks for being part of the Moxman team. You came to the end for words of wisdom to wrap up this video. And the one thing I want to say is it really doesn't take much, because this market's not controlled, to have cards spike or drop. People trying to flush the market and put their cards out for sale, that causes the market to go down. But when people hold the line, they hold their cards, eventually everything's going to run out. I still believe that, and it's kind of scary to think that Soldevi could be wiped out that quickly. Like we know where there's about 7,000 copies I've recorded plus on this channel. And I look at this stuff now, and I joked with you guys a few weeks ago saying it only takes about $1,500 to knock out the market. It's gone. It'll get restocked. People will, flush out new cards. But every time you flush new cards onto the market, less become available. Because after those get gone, somebody's got to go looking even further and deeper into bulk bins. And it just, eventually, people who buy these cards are consolidating positions. If somebody buys 100 Soldevis for themselves and says, I'm never sharing them with anyone out there, and then somebody else buys 100 and somebody else buys 100, those odd people who want to get 1 or 2 or a place out of 4 eventually are not going to be able to. So I'm glad I've got a lot of the cards I have and I don't sell them, because this is just, wow, it just proves my point so well. Love it. So yeah, hold the line, hold on to your stuff, and thanks for being here on the channel, everyone. Thanks for being here.